The leader of Djibouti, the press release went on, called for solidarity in the economic, social and political arenas in order to ensure a stronger sense of unity, which is necessary for sustainable development. In statements made by heads of delegations, the political situations in Mali, Palestine and Syria were evoked with condemnation and passion for those who are affected by crisis in these countries. The release says Honorable Susan Wafa Ogu in her statement highlighted the need to rejuvenate and revitalize the 10-year program of action of the Organization of Islamic Conference, which she said has clear outlines and guidelines as to how to articulate and propagate political reform, rule of law, inclusive political participation and serious economic reform to address youth unemployment and deliberating effects on poverty. In conclusion, the media dispatch from the Foreign Affairs Ministry quoted Susan Wafa Ogu as saying that His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, the people and the government of the Republic of the Gambia are eagerly looking forward to hosting the summit of the Organization of Islamic Conference in Banjul in 2017. This, according to the Foreign Affairs press release, will showcase the organization as well as demonstrate the faith and commitment to the Islamic Ummah. Well, the Nigerian community in the Gambia Thursday conferred on the President through Her Excellency the Vice President, the Grand Patron of the Nigerian community in the Gambia, at a ceremony attended by several ministers. Louis Mendy reports the move was inspired by the achievements registered by the Jammeh administration as well as the Gambian leaders' vision for the country.
Nigerian community in the Gambia, led by Chief Sir Paul Odemingwa, was today granted audience to the Office of the Vice President and Women's Affairs, Aja Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi. The solidarity visit, according to the visitors, was to show their sincere appreciation to President Jammeh for the numerous achievements his government registered, making the Gambia enviable to other nations. The event also availed the group the opportunity to acknowledge what they call true love demonstrated to them in the Gambia by the Gambian leader.
We are here to acknowledge and appreciate your achievement and vision for this great nation, which is evident at all walks of life. This vision and action of transformation, which geared towards breaking the shackles of underdevelopment and poverty of the African continent, is yielding dividend, not only to the Gambians, but to humanity.
Chief Sir Paul described the president as a true Pan-Africanist who rekindled the spirit of nationalism and instilled the quest for equality of all men. Chief Paul also hailed President Jammeh for his role in conflict resolution and peace building in Africa and the world at large, adding that President Jammeh deserved the prestigious Nobel Prize.
Your Excellency, your heart of gold transcends above national and international politics. This is because you have proven to the humanity through the breakthrough on the cure of the dreaded pandemic HIV and AIDS, a virus that has devastated humanity and still now have defied all medical practices and applications. Your Excellency, through the help of God Almighty, you have treated thousands with African herbs.
We want to really acknowledge that there has been a very cordial and excellent relations between Nigeria and the Gambia, and then each country has been very, very supportive of one another. And it is why precisely we are here to pay our solidarity visit to His Excellency.
The relationship between the Gambia and Nigeria is growing stronger every year. The Vice President and Women's Affairs Minister, Aja Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, attributed the development to the common visions the two heads of states share for regional and African integration and the good and hard-working people of the two nations.
The two presidents have been really doing what they can as Pan-Africanists to ensure that we have an ECOWAS of one people, really. And they've been doing that. Two, of course, genuine citizens of this sub-region, including Nigerians, including Gambians. So we want to thank those presidents for their foresight, for taking the lead and guiding the rest of us to follow. I think my colleagues have said what needs to be said. When you look at the areas of cooperation, you can't think of an area where we don't have cooperation with Nigeria. You can hardly. Let's start with the legal sector. We've always had most of our Chief Justices being Nigerian. Most of our justices as well.
The Secretary General and Minister of Presidential Affairs, Dr. Njoguba, and other ministers describe Nigerians as good people whose contribution to the socio-economic development of the Gambia is visible in all fronts.
We've heard with keen interest your statements and the very nice words said about our president and our country and some of the challenges faced by the Nigerian community in the Gambia. I am sure that government will pay a lot of attention to that and continue to create the enabling environment for you to continue to contribute to socio-economic development of this country.
On behalf of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, because without your support it would have been very difficult for us to have the number of teachers that we need in the system. And through the TAC system we've been able to get a good number of teachers with specialized training, particularly in the sciences and maths.
Today, as I said earlier, Nigeria is the biggest single country in terms of investment flows. And I think that is due to the enterprising nature of Nigerians, and this is also being imparted to our people here.
The visitors used the opportunity to humbly request President Jammeh to lift the ban on commercial driving on non-Gambians and also to be allocated a piece of land to establish an edifice they say will stand as a symbol of Gambian-Nigeria relations. But as the Interior Minister explained, the ban is not targeting a particular national. In recognition of his selfless services to humanity and generosity to the Nigerian community, the group decorated President Jammeh with the Grand Patron of the Nigerian community in the Gambia. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
Well, 65% of agricultural labor force in the Gambia are women, and majority of them live in rural areas. These were the words of the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Dr. Aissatou Njie Saidi, at the 17th meeting of Partners in Population Development held in Dhaka, Bangladesh. The high-level meeting availed the leaders the platform to reaffirm their commitment to improving the rights of people at the center of development, as well as addressing issues pertaining to population growth. Aissatou Mane attended day 2 of proceedings, and she now tells us more.
Day of deliberations and gender equity, equality and women empowerment for sustainable development was the center of attention. The South-South evidence for promoting gender equality and empowering women, including women's participation in political life, education, fulfillment of their rights as their fundamental rights to participate in nation-building efforts, according to Bongi Mariantuli, is crucial.
It is very good to have a conference like this because we are strengthening the South-South relations, and also to make sure that when we are here, we build a relationship with the South-South countries and make sure that at a particular stage we are able to deal with some other issues that are related to each country, each one of our countries.
The discussions, which revolved mainly around utilizing aging labor forces, specialized reproductive health care services and social protection, were said to be key problems affecting women and girls globally. This phenomenon, according to Tarana Halim, needs to be addressed by various leaders across the globe for the effective implementation of the 1994 Cairo Declaration.
There's still a lot of gaps in the understanding of the links between gender equity, women's health and related issues, and sustainability. And this is important for a number of reasons. The next Global Development Framework is expected to be called the Sustainability Development Goals.
The Vice President, as the keynote speaker at the conference, presented a lengthy speech on gender equity, equality and women empowerment for sustainable development, outlining gains registered in the area and constraints faced. Dr. Aissatou Njie Saidi, a veteran advocate for women's empowerment and gender-related issues, told the gathering that President Jammeh attaches great importance to the well-being and welfare of women, which is why the Gambia is on track to achieving its MDG goals on that area.
This is what our president has been doing through the scholarship scheme for girls, for example, in my country, such as what he calls the President's Empowerment of Girls Education Program and the Jammeh Foundation for Peace,